Evening all. Hope you're all well. Andy here, and I'm with my two fellow YouTubers, Carl, Chris, and Dom. Guys, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks, mate. Yourselves?
Good. Yeah, all right. I think we should have a fourth member in this quartet, but we're down to a trio until Stephen gets his camera sorted out. But hopefully he'll be along shortly.
I think he's on dial-up, mate.
Yeah, I think he is. The Irish dial-up. Yeah, I see Ben's put in the chat that there's some glitchy audio. Yeah, I think the intro titles they do take a while to come up, I think. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we've got a bit of echo, though. Get your headphones on. How's that?
Why is it echoing?
Someone's echoing.
Who's got it? Who's got the stream up?
Since Stephen turned up.
Let's see if I mute him. How about now?
No echo.
Yeah.
No echo.
Yeah,
Stephen, it's your audio.
You got a speaker on or something?
Yeah, turn the volume off on your computer.
I feel like I'm tripping out.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Right, I'm going to put Stephen on mute for a second. And we'll just, while he gets his levels and his microphone stuff sorted out.
And
so,
Stephen, go and put your white T-shirt on as well.
Yeah, so we can see you in the background. It helps with the background. Right, let's have a little quick run down the chat. So Ben's on. Hi, Ben. Hope you're all well up there in with your Requiem to an Audi TT. So I'm presuming you've had your resonated bits put back in. Who else we got? Paul Knight. Good to see you, Paul. Hopefully you'll be along to the meet on Saturday as we head off to Quattrofini, which we'll talk about in a bit. Jamie Court's on. Nick Clark's on. Alex is on. Alex, I keep driving past you and waving, and then you don't even spot me. Because I work just down the road from Alex's house, and I'm always waving as I go over. He never spots me. But
next time he's going to stop in the middle of the road and just
Although I'm either on a bike or I'm on a in a car with a soft top, so I am waving out the roof. But yeah, Peter's on. Good to see you, Peter, and Simon as well. Hi lads, how you all doing?
Hello, people.
Oh, and Richard.
Hello,
Richard, hope you're doing well, pal. Because I know you've had a bit of a bad turn of things in hospital. So you're on the mend. Did see a picture of your pajama bottoms and your feet, but I didn't see much else, which I was quite pleased about. So I hope you're all on the mend. Right. What else we got on? So and Carl's on as well. So the man that likes to clean his TT, Mr. Foreman. Right. I guess, guys, I'm going to sort of hand the floor to you because you guys have had loads going on recently, different projects and different cars and things. And I guess people have been asking questions. What's going on? So, Chris,
yes,
let's Mister, I haven't done a video for 2 months. Let's hand the floor over to you and reassure everyone you are going nowhere.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just having a little reshuffle with cars at the moment because I have a few and just got other things going on in the background at the moment. And it's just don't need 4 cars at the moment.
No, that's a lot of cars in it to have.
It is. So obviously the Mark 1 is up for sale, as pretty much everyone will probably know. Obviously I've been asked why that one's up for sale and why the Mark 2 is not up for sale and all sorts of things like that. It's purely because the Mark 1 doesn't owe me as much as the Mark 2. So it makes more financial sense to get rid of the Mark 1 than the Mark 2.
Yeah.
So
totally
you know what I mean? I can buy another Mark 1 after selling this one or in a few months or whatever's happening in the background sorts itself out. And then obviously I can really look into it again. But obviously I'll still have a TT. So I'll still be in the community and stuff like that. And I will start to do more bits on the TT as well as possibly doing some other bits as well. As you know, I'm going to be made redundant sort of like at the end of this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's not good, but it's also good as well at the same time.
Stephen's making notes.
So obviously things might get changed.
Yeah, they can't hear or see that, which is I will have to in shortly.
It'll give me more time to do stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And I'll be doing some other bits as well.
Yeah, Dom chuckled when we said that 4 cars are a lot of cars. I noticed as well. Dom, that's a normal number of cars, isn't it? 4? But
It's when I ring it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Full taxed, yeah.
When you're paying nearly $2,000 a year in road tax, it gets a little bit much.
Yeah, I have now just added Stephen to the feed, so welcome along, Stephen. I know you haven't.
Hi guys, how are you?
Oh, very loud.
Hello,
very good.
Stephen. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Only 4 cars, Chris. Come on,
Yeah,
lightweight.
I know. I don't live on a farm though.
Yeah, it does help a little bit.
I have to pay for storage.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to pay for road tax. Like VR6 is what to say? Was it 800 euros?
Yeah,
Or
but
1,800
I pay
euros?
nearly $2,000 a year on road tax.
Yeah,
4 cars.
1,800 euros for just for one TT. If it
I
was
know,
a
that's
VR6,
silly,
like,
isn't it?
that's crazy prices.
So we know. So from that, we know Chris is going nowhere. The Mark One's for sale. So if anyone's interested in snapping up a car that's had an awful lot of work done on it and wants to check it out, check out Chris's lovely red Mark One. I'm sure you've seen it many times on the channel. So get in touch with Chris directly. There you go. That's my auto.
Yeah, we can sort out a deal. See if a view or someone we might have to sort something out a little bit better than what it's up for.
We'd have a deal.
Yeah, there's always a deal to be done.
Absolutely. So I guess that segues nicely into Dom and his car collection. What have you been up to then, Dom?
Right, so I've been having a bit of a sabbatical. You know, when you just sort of lose. I lost me mojo for it. I think a lot of stuff going on. As we do, you know, it's like with us guys, we do videos every week, sometimes twice a week, or you do videos separate and whatever, and then you find yourself just doing it because you have to, not because you want to. And then I've slowly been working my way to the point where the Noggy's at a point where it just needs so much work. It was just not worth just pushing in and throwing money at it, because it was never going to get it back. It was a lot of money. And I thought, do you know what? I'm better off taking all the shiny bits off, selling what I don't want. What I do want and what I liked, I'll take with me to the next car. Because I'll be honest, I hate the cage. I fitted the full cage, and getting in and out, if you've watched me, was horrific. It's uncomfortable. It's noisy. I took people out and they're like, this is noisy. And I'm like, I like doing road trips. I built it more towards track, and then I want to use it more towards road. So going forward, I'm going to do it more towards road. I've actually bought another car, or 2. As you have known, there's one went live yesterday. The other one's going live on Wednesday. I just wanted to mess with you and show you 150 Roadster, thinking I'd lost the plot first. But yeah, so we're back on it full steam. I'm enjoying it. The new one is wicked. It ran out of MOT, so I need to get it MOT. That's why I've not been using it. Hopefully, it will be there on Saturday.
Fabulous. So are we saying that the 150 is a fallback for Saturday?
Yeah, the 150 is sweet.
Yeah.
Campbell roulette, but it's sweet.
That's all right. If the weather's nice for Saturday, obviously that'd be a great car to take. I took my Roadster last year, but I'm taking my 3.2 this year. But I'd change it up and take that.
Be great for filming as well, because I can just kind of
out the top,
hold it above and.
Absolutely, you need to get your daughter with the camera so she can hold it up and spin it around. Yeah, should be good for that. So I guess then, Stephen, what have you been up to other than cutting corn and baling hay?
Yeah, like the weather has been not fun. So we came out of the winter and it was a really dry winter. Then we came into a really wet spring. Then we went into drought for I think 6 or 8 weeks. So like farming and everything and work has just been absolutely mental business. So in the middle of it, my brother and his wife had a baby, so they call him Sonny.
Nice. Congratulations to your brother.
Like the boxer, Sonny Lisbon, so that kind of thing. So I said, so what would you call the next baby? He's like, would you call it Raymond? And he was a bit confused. He's like, why would we call
Lost your audio.
Hello?
Can you hear him?
No, I can hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, yeah. Are you pressing buttons?
No, I think someone else is pressing buttons. So you can hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I was saying they had a baby, so they call it Sonny. So I said, next baby will it be called Raymond? So as in short for Raymond, it could be Rainy, so you'd have Sonny and Rainy. So they weren't overly impressed with my jokes, but anyway. But yeah, I used to work for a contractor, and I left him and I worked for the new contractor. So I've been driving a 28-meter self-propelled sprayer. So it's a Bateman with the logo is in a shape of Batman. So it's like the Batmobile is basically what I've been driving for a while. So I love that. And I'm sure you've seen my videos. I've been working away on different stuff. Did a small bit on the TT. And ironically, everything's perfect on the TT, not going near it. And everything is pretty much just my daily driver.
Excellent.
So driving it to work every day. A lot of the times I'll be driving to work at maybe 6 o'clock in the evening and then coming home at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning because it was just so hot we couldn't spray during the daytime. So it was a long few hours of, well, a few weeks of long hours. So my boss drove it a few times and he's like, oh, you're like James Bond coming in here. Like he loved like the little small sports car. And then told me in his youth he had flipped a few cars. So I was like, you're not driving it anymore.
But James Bond on a budget, we are. James Bond on a budget.
Yeah.
James Budget.
James
Definitely.
budget, exactly right. Excellent. So, yeah, and I've been noticing you've been doing a few repairs to the old the equipment as well. I've been watching a few of your repair videos for crazy silage machines and stuff, and combines, blades, and all sorts.
Yeah. So like after I finished up work doing all the spraying jobs because they're only a certain amount of time, like I got phone calls going, do you want to come over and work for me? It's like, what do you want to do? It's like, oh, I have a combine, it's broken, will you come and fix it? So
There you go.
So most people would come over, like say like in a caddy van or like a work van. I arrived in the TT and you get some strange looks. They're going, where are all your tools? Like, they're in the car, like.
There's plenty of space for tools in a TT. We all know
so
that.
my TT got turned into a work van for a while. So
Nice.
but like I was dailying it and there's no problems. Like you're only driving into farmyards, like you're not driving down like country lanes or anything like that, like over
No,
bumps.
absolutely not.
So that's grand. And then car wise, my little Mark 1 Golf convertible, unfortunately the rust just started getting into it and eating everything. So end up having to do a lot of repairs in it, and we cut panels out of it and welded panels in and then repainted stuff. So it was a big learning curve, but it turned out really well and it's back on the road. So that's the most important thing.
Excellent. And that's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Thanks, Stephen. So for me, obviously, I've had the sump off and done the pickup pipe at long last. I've owned that car since 2018. And I've finally done the pickup pipe. So I was playing a bit of pickup pipe roulette as well. So, but surprisingly, as you've seen, if you've seen from the video, it came out with spotless. It was really clean. So I think it has been done at some point.
Definitely.
Now that sump has had a whack at some point, not while during my ownership, but I know the guy had told me that it hit a sleeping policeman, and I presume he means the concrete thing rather than actual sleeping policeman. Taking the sump off, and so I presume they probably thought while it was off they would do the pickup pipe. But yeah, it was really clean, so I was pleased with that. That engine's only got 80,000 miles on it, so it's a fairly decently low mileage engine. So I'm quite happy with that. The 3.2 hasn't really been driven much recently. I was starting to use it a bit, and then I've just left it. I went to start it yesterday, and it was just completely dead. So I need to get that cleaned and sorted and ready to go for this coming Saturday, so we can get it to Quattrofenia. I'm starting to get a bit of rust bubbling now on my seals. So I've reached out to a few people looking for some for the car. I haven't got any success so far. And I think, Chris, you told me you can still get them new.
I think you can get them from TPS and Audi.
Yeah, so I'm going to speak.
179 quid when I bought a pair each.
Okay, so there you go. So I think for that it's probably worth doing, and also I've got a couple of little dents in one of them, so it's pays to get it done. I won't paint them myself though. I'll take them somewhere and get them painted, obviously, and at the same time I'll see if they can do the silver bumper on the Roadster as well, because obviously it's a bit of work. And although I was messaging someone on Facebook today about a silver bumper who was blatantly a scammer. And I took Chris's lead because Chris had a bit of a battle with a scammer the other day. So I asked this guy if it would fit a 4-litre TT, and if it was definitely in granite grey, granite silver. Sorry, I wanted in granite silver. Yeah, it's definitely in granite silver. And then I asked where he was based. He said, I said, I'd like to pick it up. And he said, I'm a long way away. I said, I'm in Coventry, which I'm not. Thought that's pretty central, so I can get to most places. And he said, he's in Wales. I said, whereabouts? He said, he's in Bangor. I said, that's fine. I'm 5 miles down the road, which, as we know with geography, we're not. Yeah. And then he was going, okay, yeah, I'm in this postcode, and just random postcode. And after a few more questions, I did turn around and say, "You're blatantly a scammer. So why don't you stop scamming people?" But it's quite interesting to watch them sweat and go off and do a bit of research. You can see them going off for a few minutes to work out how they can respond, thinking that they're getting. You only wanted 60 quid for it. I thought it was a
Oh,
bargain.
that's a bargain.
Yeah, posted as well. But hey ho, there you go. So so with this Saturday coming up, then is our first event that we're all getting together since we went to the Vorsprung show, isn't it? So we're off to Quattrofenia this Saturday, meeting at 11 a.m. at the Duke's Head pub, and I think it's in RH10 4HH is the postcode. So if you're looking for that, we've also set up a WhatsApp group. So if you want to get in touch with us with your numbers, we can add you to the WhatsApp group, and that way Chris, myself, and Dom will be sharing our live locations on the day. So if anyone gets lost or split up, we can all get back together. But we're going to be starting at 11 o'clock from the Duke's Head pub. So if you want to get there a bit early, have a few drinks, meet around, have a chat.
I was going to say, what time do they open and do they do breakfast?
They open at 11. So if you get there a little bit before, you might get in there for early knock-ins. They don't do breakfast. They do a great range of snacks and food. Obviously, they've got drinks within a pub and toilet facility. So it's a nice place. We all met there last year as our first main stop, didn't we? And we've cut out the early stop, the London stop, because it's still London to Brighton-ish, but we've cut the central London part out because it took an age to get out of town. It was a bit of a pain for people. With the ULEZ that's now kicking in, that could be affecting some TTs, and we don't want to exclude anybody. So it doesn't matter what TT you're driving, what condition it's in, get yourself down to the Duke's Head pub as we drive to Ditchling Beacon for a photo opportunity, which last year was quite manic. We took over the whole car park, didn't we? And it was a bit going around that donut.
Yeah.
But then we head to the Brighton Marina, and we're going to park on the top floor of the car park at the Brighton Marina because no one goes up on the top deck, and it's a great photo opportunity. So we'll do that. And there's a great range of eateries, Nando's, and other eateries are available, but lots of the usual eateries if you want to go and get some food after.
Nando's it is then.
Yeah, probably like it was last time. So that's all good. So should we have a quick look at what people are saying in the chat? Because I think there's a few questions popping up. Yeah, people are saying see us Saturday. What's that happening? So Quattrofenia, James. Yeah, it's this coming Saturday, as we've mentioned. Can't find any details anywhere. Well, it's on all of my channels, I think, pretty much. It's on Instagram.
They don't follow you then.
It's on Audi TT Alex group as well as an event. So yeah. So if you want to find it, if you found us tonight, you should be able to find the information. It's definitely as a post on my channel. So if you click on my post, you'll find that. And if you want to send us your phone number, you're more than welcome to send it to me via email. So it's not in the chat. So if they don't want to reveal their numbers, you're more than welcome to do so. A few people asking about that. What else have we got going on? There's loads of messages. Sorry, guys, I've been too busy chatting. People talking about the price of seals. So I'm up to date. So peeps a lot. Yeah. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, start point for Quattrofenia is now Duke's Head pub. Yes, that is absolutely right. It was. I know last year we were in London, but as we just mentioned, we're going to be starting there. So that's good. So I guess as you boys have got cars up for sale and been buying cars, do we want to talk a little bit about what we think the state of the market's like for people selling cars at the moment?
It does seem a bit mad. I think what it is there's a few big cars, like obviously Car Chris being a YouTuber, and there's a few other cars like Felix sold his really mint Aviator recently. And when a few figure cars go, I think it emphasizes, because there's people that come and go all the time. I mean, we always get new subscribers and they're chatting to you saying, oh, I've just bought this car, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, which is cool. And then they sell their car and no one really notices. But when you get a few of the bigger cars, which are people do a lot of posts and a lot of stuff on, and then they suddenly sell them, then everyone's like, oh, where are they going? Why are they selling? You know what I mean? Then a few other people think, oh, I might sell mine as well. And the prices are moving mad. They're up, down here, left and right.
I think anything under about £2,000 seems to be selling. Anything over £2,000 just seems a lot harder to sell.
Yeah.
Yes, they are at that. I mean, they're at that point, aren't they, where you can buy a crap one for $1,000-ish, which obviously you need to do a cam belt, a clutch, a turbo, any other £1,000 jobs, and then Yeah, the good ones. If people are looking, I'm looking, and then there's some. I think there's quite a few good ones because quite a few people putting them out for sale. But if they sell, they'll sell. If they don't, they'll keep them. Sort of thing. They just sort of, I've had enough of it. I've had it this long. I'll put it up for sale. Don't sell it. Or people come and they're like, oh no, actually, I'm not going to sell it. It's I think it's a bit like that at the moment.
Yeah.
So go on. What funny stories have you had, Chris? Have you had what they've been offering you or telling you or what?
Do you know something? Mine's actually been really, really sort of quiet. I mean, it's been on Auto Trader for a few weeks. It's had like 400, 500, maybe even 600 views. Nothing, not one phone call.
Really?
Yeah. And then obviously
super weird.
It is proper strange. But I think it's at that price point where, as you said, you can get one for £1,000. But I think people that know TTs, you don't really want one for £1,000 because it's going to cost you about another £2,000 on top of that to actually, turn it anything decent. You know what I mean? Then I had it on eBay, which someone did send me an offer. I accepted the offer, and obviously they've been an absolute messer. They haven't really messaged me at all since purchasing it. They said they're going to come pick it up today or tomorrow. This was last week, and I've had nothing since.
It's when you hear nothing, and then you message them, and you still get nothing, and you think, here we go.
No, exactly. So it's pretty much going to be, if I haven't heard anything by the morning, obviously I will report them to eBay, relist it. I might even just go, do you know something? 99p, starting bid. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You've got the pedigree, haven't you? You got it's had all the right bits done to it.
Yeah,
so
it's a good car.
Sorted.
Exactly. It's got good bones on it, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. Someone's just made a good point there, actually. That's a comment. Chris's car won't sell, as everyone on Facebook appears to be selling it. So Chris has been out by
I can't believe that. What an absolute nightmare.
That was crazy. I think at the moment there's a lot of cars for sale, which is obviously would harm the market for getting the best value for money. There's also people that I think you say they are looking to sell, but they know what they want for it, and they've invested a lot of money. So they're almost, they want to get back from it some of the investment they've put into the car, which unfortunately is not always going to be the case, because we know ourselves, we throw so much money into these cars, and if we wanted to sell these cars for what we've invested, I'd say my TT's for sale and it's £35,000. No one would buy it. We know that's unrealistic, but even with the mods, I mean, the cars, there's a lot of mods out there, and I think people have said you get more for your money if you take the mods off the car and sell the mods separately than you do selling a car.
Am I worth breaking my one? I think it's too nice to start breaking though.
Yeah, you've done a lot of work on yours, haven't you? So it's I mean, your car is one of those, isn't it? Although I think you've priced it fairly for the mods that you've done to it and the work it's had.
Maybe you should advertise it like comes with YouTuber guarantee.
Definitely don't do that. And that's the thing, I think as well, that there's not myths going around, but people think they see the 3.2 engine and they say, right, it's getting more and more rare, so I'm going to stick an extra £2,000 on any price that I want to get. And I've seen cars that have been up for not what I'd class low mileage cars, but 3.2s up for £7,500 recently. And I think sorry, Dom.
No, sorry, but I've seen it where people are selling cars for what I would class as a good fair price for a good car. Yeah. And then you've got people coming, I've seen these for £2,000. And you're like, well, you have, but you're not going to get this kind of car for £2,000. And then they then withdraw it from sale because they're getting a load of heat from a load of blonkers. And it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. What's the market like in Ireland right now, Stephen?
Yeah, so I've literally just gone on. You can just see there's an Audi TT BAM 225 high spec. It has 156,000 miles. I want £5,000 for it.
Wow.
And it's all like, it's ready to drive. Like, you just put your tax and insurance onto it. But like, I suppose people are starting to say, like, there's other ones here for £3,000. Because I had to go look it up because I didn't even know what the market is. I say roughly they're all around 3K. And then if you want a really clean one, you're going to pay a bit more. But the problem is, if you start to pay a bit more, you're getting close to Mark II values. So then why buy a really old car? Just buy a Mark II TT. And so there's this kind of fine line where I'm going, if I pay a little bit more, I buy a newer car. If I pay a little less, I get a cheaper car, but I get the older generation. And I think people are looking at more that way rather than going, well, the Mark 1 is going to be the iconic one. Mark 2 is maybe the lesser iconic one. No offense, Chris. But
No, that's cool, mate.
no, but like all of us have like Mark 1s, and that's what the Mark, it is the iconic shape. That's what everyone goes for. And obviously, like they've improved on it and they've changed it around, and there's Mark 2s and Mark 3s. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I went to look at two different Mark 2 or Mark 1 TTs, both were ironically, I think, silver. One had a blown engine, but I wanted to TDI swap it, and he wanted €500 for it. And at the time, I was offering a little bit under that, but it had a weird blue interior with a half-leather blue interior, a silver car, blown engine. I was like, there's literally nothing of value in this car because it's a 180. So like, it had a single exhaust pipe. Like, I was trying to explain to them, going, even though I broke it for parts, there's nothing valuable on the car. I don't even know if it had a quattro system on it. So that one, and then there was another one, actually, no, it was red. It was very good condition, but the people that owned it, they said their brother lived in England, so unfortunately an Irish car has gone over to England. So it's currently living in someone's garage somewhere over there. So they're just kind of moving and they're disappearing. I did see one blue TT Mark 1 on the road there a few days ago, and like they're far and few between. Like it's a long time before you see another one. Even second and third generations, they're very light on the ground.
Yeah, the last Irish registered TT I saw was embedded into turn 3 at the Nürburgring. So, unfortunately, bless him. But he was still waiting for his bill on that, even literally about a month ago. So he still hadn't had that. So I'd be interested to know what's.
Do you know where it's from?
So maybe it's not as bad as we thought crashing on the Nürburgring. You never actually get the bill. Is that because we're out of the EU?
Maybe. They can't find us.
Maybe it's with my speeding ticket somewhere.
Well, the Irish car is still in the EU.
Yeah, exactly. It's still there. It's still in the same EU part. So, Alex has just mentioned about adding ULEZ to your ad, Chris. So
yeah, it's not a bad shout.
Yeah,
Chris, didn't you first get into YouTube videos by making an advert to sell a car?
I did actually. Yeah, Mercedes SLK.
Maybe you should do that with the TT, like your final video.
You trying to get him out of the market, Stephen?
Stephen, I think you need to buy a red Mark 1.
Yeah,
just the one for you.
UK registered.
Just
yes, you don't have to worry about Irish tax.
If you give me the right money, I'll tax it for a year for you.
Yeah,
and you can keep. Yeah, so you ain't got to pay silly amounts of road tax for the first year. But
how
after
many?
That first year is your problem.
How many cans of Guinness do you want?
Chris don't drink, so I'll have it. But
I'll send you over Kit Kats or something.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, I'll have some of those as well.
Or Domino's or something.
I see there's mention there of more scammers in the US. So Andrew's got that. Good to see you on, Andrew, tonight. So Andrew's the owner of the Schlimmerschlamper, which I've done a review of as well with the gull wing doors. What else we got? Peter talking about his car. So I've also reviewed Peter's car, and he had a 150 that he'd done a lot of work to, a lovely car, and he traded it in, I think, and bought a V6, which, judging by the,
I think he swapped it.
Oh, did he swap it? Yeah. I know he done something, but it was it's turned into a bit of a headache for him the last few days. But hopefully he's got some light at the end of the tunnel. Wayne's saying there that there's a lot of cars for sale at the moment, and people pricing as they should. Yeah, some people are, not everybody, but yeah, it's a bit of a minefield, I think, pricing at the moment.
Can you give us an idea for like someone that lives in Ireland or like in America or the other countries, like roughly in the UK, what would a BAM 225 go for?
Well, I guess it depends what condition. Again, like Dom mentioned, you could probably pick up a knackered 225 for around £1,000, I think, or you could pick one up for that. Yeah, I guess. Or you could pick one up for 3.5 with a red one for 3.5 in down in Surrey. I mean, what's the most expensive 225 you guys have seen up for sale recently?
I think I've seen
there was like one. 7. I was going to say 7.8 for like a less than 50k kind of scenario.
Yeah. That's I think if you've got that sort of mileage on it, that's why it's asking the money, isn't it? That's where that seems to be the main factor, I think, in pricing these TTs now, is the amount of miles the engine stuff, which is, I guess it's a fair assumption.
I think you're right. It goes to about 4 to 5 grand for like a really nice spec, like less than 90k, kind of had all sorted, all the right bits, everything you'd want. And then I think from there upwards, obviously, like if the mileage goes down or it's a bit special, the pricing isn't capped. It's just kind of what someone thinks it's worth, and someone will pay for it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I've seen there's a couple of what I class as quite nicely modified cars around 225 at the moment. You've got Bogdan's car as well.
Yeah.
I think that's
4.6, was it?
Yeah, I think that's been coming down in price. I think it was over 5 at one point, but I think
it was 6 or something. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I know the market.
So then the wheels have come off. He's changed the wheels, then the price has come down.
Yeah,
it just keeps on coming down.
And it's in like a rather, it's like a papaya color, but obviously it's sprayed onto a base coat of Morrow blue, isn't it? Because it's a Morrow blue car underneath. So
it's still under the bonnet, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and there you go. Oh, Bryn's on. Bryn, she's got you in here as well tonight. We could jump on the chat. We'll get you in as well. He's saying his 55k car will be up for 6, which he thinks is a bargain. Yeah, I mean 55k is nice and low, isn't it? That's a really low mileage car for what's about.
That, 225?
Yeah, the black one he's got.
Right.
Is it? I don't think I've even seen that one. Is he showing that one?
Yeah, I think he's shown it a couple of times. He don't really drive, because he's trying to keep the mileage down and keep it nice. Plus, he's too busy stockpiling the Mini.
Oh, right.
How'd you get on with the engine, Bryn? He took the engine out of his V6 today.
Oh, was that to do the chains?
Yeah.
Well, I think he just... I won't say too much. We'll see what he says in the chat.
Hopefully he's going to turbo or supercharge it then.
Just in case I throw it under
we'll let him answer that one. So there's some average prices there for the US. So, wow, $5,000 if it's trash, $8,000 if it's running, and $11,000 if it's mint. That's crazy money, because the dollar to pound exchange rate's not that different, is it? So
no, it's very, very same.
Yeah, so it's that's a lot of money for a knackered car. Miles is hard measure. Seen one for 70,000. Shocking service history. 120. So there's a lot of cars. There seems to be an awful lot of cars for sale between about 110,000 miles and about 150,000 miles. They seem to be coming to their time where they need to move on. I think that's why those cars are for sale. Sale of that sort of size. So it's
Like, would you be worried if you bought a really low miler car because they said, well, is it because they kept it in the garage or because something catastrophic went wrong with it, or there's like gremlins in the wiring system and they're just never happy to drive it? Like, they could leave them stranded somewhere. And is that why, if you saw one for 40,000 miles on it, you're going, why? Like, they seem to be like really enthusiastic to drive the car, really enthusiastic about the car. Why didn't they drive it?
Yeah, I mean, if you think
it could be a second or third car, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
A 40,000 mile car is going to have done less than, depending on the age of it, it's going to have done less than 5,000 miles a year, isn't it? So,
my Merc only had 35,000 miles in it, and I bought that, and that's a 2005.
No, that's bad maths. I'm doing bad maths there, aren't I? If that's done less than 2,000 miles a year. I don't know what 5 was. 2,000 miles a year. I was thinking, 2,000 miles a year. Well, that's not a lot of miles for a car, is it? That is not a lot of miles. And there's more than likely that a few of those years it's done
nothing.
Exactly. Or it's sat for many years. And we know that these cars sitting around, there's a lot of perishable parts that they don't like sitting around, and a lot of the rubber parts, even now, that have been used for all those years, they're starting to fail because they're 20-year-old parts, and they are going to snap, fail, perish, holes in your hoses.
I think it's good if you can see like a good couple of thousand miles between the MOTs, because it has done something that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's always helpful. I'll tell you a story, right? I had some new tyres put on the Mark II a couple of years ago, and it actually got a visor on the MOT because it had cracking in the new tyres. And they were F1 asymmetric 4s or 5s or something at the time. So I rung up Goodyear and I said, these tyres have done like less than 1,000 miles, and I got pulled on the MOT as advisor. They got cracking in them, and he said, yeah, he goes, because you probably haven't used the car enough, and the rubber
Gotta
needs
keep
to heat up
rotating.
and stuff like that for it to do that. Otherwise, they start cracking. So it just shows that if you don't use it, the rubber does just start falling apart.
You haven't seen my video. You haven't seen my video on storing it, have you, Chris? You see, you can rotate your tyres or 90 degrees every sort of couple of weeks. Keep them all supple.
But I'm sure it's the same with timing belts as well. Like timing belts don't like to be
Yeah.
sitting too much in the one position. They like to be rotated.
Yeah,
like
oil
that.
seals.
Yeah, everything just needs a little bit of movement, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A bit
So what I'm hearing is there's a good reason to keep driving your cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep them moving, keep driving them.
Even if it's going out, just doing a couple of miles and getting up to temperature and stuff like that, I think it does it all the world of good, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah,
like.
100%.
Yeah.
So in my car, I've just hit well over 200,000 miles, and it's going perfectly. Now, like, you do have to spend a bit of money, a bit of time, and keeping it right. But like, these cars, they just keep going. Like, and I know like there's low mileage and there's high mileage, but like I have a really high mileage car, and it's going brilliantly. Like, I love it. So 200,000 miles, no problem to it. I say it could definitely do like another 40,000 definitely before I need a decent overhaul again.
That's good though, isn't it? If you do keep on top of it, they do just keep going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's bits of mine that I've noticed that on both of mine, when they've been into the garage, that they've had bits pointed out to them that have failed, and it's down to parts that have perished that you've not seen. I think a lot of the sort of the vac hose and things, they seem to go, but because they're in that static position and they're not moving, they've like cracked along, like almost like where there's not a join, but where there's a mark in the rubber. So you can't, until you move that rubber, you don't actually see there's a crack in it and it's leaking bits out. I suppose a leak test would be a good thing to do on those sort of things, would it? To try and spot where stuff's coming out of.
Yeah.
But
I'd find it.
Absolutely. Right, so let's have a look at some more stuff in the chat. What people talking about? Right, something's been shared in the TT chat not long ago. Was that? I think it's probably talking about the meet that's going on, the German car meet that's going on. I'd be interested in the chat. See who's going up for that. Any of you guys going to the German car meet?
Don't know when it is.
I think it's the 10th of September, from what I've seen. There's also a meet quite close to me. I say close to me, it's about a mile up the road from my house on the 10th of September, which is called Hub Classics, which I tried to go to last month. It's every other month, I think, and the rain was so horrendous, I just couldn't even get anywhere near it, so I came home. But so I'm going to probably pop along to that on the 10th of September. But obviously the main thing for us at the moment is this upcoming Saturday. Now I see Bryn's on. I think Bryn's hopefully going to be coming along to that as well. So car to be determined, I guess, at this point, depending on what work's going on. But looking forward to seeing what he brings along. I need to get you over here for one of these things at some point, Stephen.
Definitely.
So we would look to come to your place, but it's about £450 the ferry. And after our experiences on the ferry going to Dover to Calais, I don't think we're in a rush to get on another ferry in a hurry.
It's all right, Lewis is paying.
Oh, that's right. he's not on tonight, is there? I forget. Let's find out what he's up to. Okay. So people are talking a lot about German Car Festival, 10th of September. There you go. It's at Silverstone. So if anyone is going to that, Jamie's mentions about that in the chat. But so what are we thinking in the is there anything that people are looking to do to their cars at the moment? Modifications? I know Chris, you're not looking at anything to the Mark 1, but for the Mark 2?
There's a problem with the Mark II engines on the A113 engines. It's where the oil pump likes to seize. There's a company called Vis that do like a freewheeler that you put in there. So obviously eliminates that from happening. So I'm probably going to do that, and then that will eliminate that issue. And to be fair, there's nothing really wrong with it. Oh, I did get some new center caps, me bowler wheels, because the other ones
snazzy.
They went like faded. They faded to like a whitish sort of thing. So I emailed them and had a little moan, and they sent me some nice new ones. So happy days.
Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? That's What about you, Dom? What have you got planned for any of your projects, or is it all under wraps at the moment?
So I've got a load of the car that I'm going to be sharing on Wednesday. I've got quite a few changes to be made just to personalise it to my preference, because the bulk of it was good. It's a great car. The bulk of it was good, but a lot of it wasn't suitable for what I want. So I've taken a lot of stuff off. I'm going to put another load of stuff back on. So it'll just be doing that. But I'm literally going to do the minimum I have to so I can come Saturday. And then after that, the rest will be week on week doing a bit, you know. I'm also actually going to change the way I do videos. I'll still do how-tos, but a lot of it's more going to be like just hanging out and working on the car. Because obviously a lot of the stuff we've already filmed, like how to do it, and you've covered it. And I don't see the point in doing another video on exactly the same thing. So it'll just be a kind of I'm up the unit. I'm going to do this today. What do we run into problems-wise? A bit of chat and see how that goes. Yeah, because obviously once we've created most videos for most things now, so it's
I suppose that's kind of the problem as well. Like they're Mark IV cars, like Mark IV Golf. Like, so a lot of the stuff and problems between the TT and Mark IV Golf, it's all been covered, and like it's very hard to find sometimes content to make up a video that hasn't been. Oh well, you know, you can watch someone else's video. Like it's hard to find something that hasn't been covered or has been covered from a certain angle. So I like the idea of just maybe doing a bit more vlogs and do that and just working away in the car.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
When I take you off highlight, you your voice goes for some reason, so we have to highlight you all night or take you off. But we've just got a fifth member of the gang turn up, so let's see if we can add this young man to the chat. How you doing, Bryn?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, perfect.
I've just had to download the drivers for all my camera and stuff. So yeah.
And you've had a wash, which is a good sign.
I don't know how to look at your hands.
That's it. I was wearing gloves when I started, and I definitely didn't keep them on.
Yeah. How you been, Bryn? All right? Oh, is he? I don't know if you can hear us. Is he dropped off? Still there?
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I'd somehow hit mute on my microphone.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's green now. We're good to go.
Yeah, how you been? How's the new job going?
Yeah, it's really good. Plenty of time to work on my car, obviously. Not. That's the weird thing, actually, I suppose, is that I wanted to gain time to work on the car, but actually haven't had time to work on the car. But in general, happier anyway. So yeah, it's cars are less important than general living, aren't they? So
yeah, plenty of time for skateboarding and grazing your knees, though. I've noticed.
Oh mate, don't even go there. In absolute agony all week.
That's it.
Yeah,
big time. Yeah.
You've not been watching the videos, Chris. What's going on?
I've been busy.
There's
a car to sell.
Oh, so we're buying houses, mate.
Yeah. Why are you giving up on the Mark 1 then, Chris? Sorry if you've already covered this.
It's at that price point now. Anything else I spend in it, I ain't going to get back.
It was about 2,000 miles ago, £2,000 ago. Sorry, that you're at that point. I think.
Yeah. It's just change of circumstances. I'm being made redundant at the end of the year. Buying a house. I've got 4 cars. I don't need 4 cars at the moment. It's just life gets in the way, innit? Just need to sort of get this year out of the way and see what happens next year.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I just see a couple of questions in the chat. So guys put up, so Alpha Kenny Buddies put up, anyone know where you can get door shims from? I'm pretty sure Felix was doing them. He was doing door shims. Alpha Kenny, we need to put you in touch with a guy called Felix Fox. So if you want to drop me an email, I'll pass your details on to him, and then you can sort something out. If you can look him up on Facebook yourself, but he definitely was doing the shims at some point. And someone's also asked about trying to find a roof rack for their Mark 1. I guess they mean an actual roof rack. I think they'll be quite hard to get hold of.
Hen's teeth.
Yeah. I see it. There was someone who was asking about the boot rack on a Roadster online last week on Facebook, and someone had said it's in the OEM group. Someone said, anyone can get an OEM roof box? And someone had put up 2 links to eBay of non-OEM stuff. I was thinking, well, that's if the guy wants an OEM one, it's not really. I don't think so. I don't think I've not actually seen an OEM one for a long time. Not for sale anyway. It's I guess they weren't particularly popular originally, maybe, and that's why they're not for sale anymore. Are they detachable
maybe.
as well, or are they once you
Yeah.
bolt them? Oh, they are. So it's not like you bolt it through the
Yeah.
bodywork and it's on.
No,
Right.
no, like hooks. I think they hook underneath the sides, and then it has a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never seen one.
Have you not?
No.
Dina had one.
Oh. So we're
A
on the
long while
Roadster
back.
one. Yes, she did
Yeah.
actually. I tell a lie. I did see it on that one. Chromed up when she had all the chrome. I do remember that.
Yeah. Cool.
I do remember.
Yeah.
But
So-
they're so few and far between. You never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So going back to your cars then, Bryn. So you've been busy at work. We won't ask you to reveal anything you don't reveal, but
I'll tell you
What's-
anything you want to know.
well,
How many
so-
cars you got at the moment?
I currently only own 3 TTs.
Oh,
right.
One A4. That's it. Yeah, that's all
not
I
too
own.
bad.
Lightweight.
No. Yeah, I am. I feel like an absolute lightweight. Yeah, there's a rookie numbers. I need to pump them up, don't I? But yeah, no, I've been working on the papaya today. Trying to, yeah, I realised it was cheaper to buy a working engine than to do the chains. Not
Really?
cheaper, but easier. Yeah, cost of the chains parts alone, you're looking close to £1,000.
Is it really?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
if you're doing everything properly, you know, if you're doing the rocker gasket while you're in, I mean, that's over 120 quid just for the rocker gasket set.
And a VR6.
Yeah, it's crazy because you've
It's
got
bad, isn't it?
the outer and then each individual inner separately. So yeah.
Because I think on the 4-cylinder it's only like 10 or 20 quid, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 20 quid, yeah, for an L ring, which is fine. And then you've got the intake manifold gasket if you're going to do that while you're in there. I think that's another 50 quid just for that gasket. So you know, there's lots of money. So for the price of basically, I've worked it out. Buying this engine, selling the old one, and doing everything like that, it ends up costing me about 500 quid. And it takes a lot less time. So that's what I've been doing today. I just ran out of daylight now.
What's the miles on the engine you got?
Oh, that's just under 100,000, but the one that was in the car is 125 as well. So
What were
dropped-
the chain? What were the readings like on the chain?
they were good. I can't remember exactly what they were, but I'll read them when I put it in. Better than my -7 and -10.
Oh, that is quite bad. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also got a mapped ECU with it as well, so that's going to be
Oh, bad boy.
Just you don't want to put it all in and go, oh fuck it, needs chains.
Yeah, I'll be livid if that is.
Oh,
There's
no.
already been a couple of bits where it's annoying that I didn't take the engine out because they've done stuff weird and undone stuff they didn't need to.
The quickest method.
Yeah.
Oh, chop the name of the one, just get it out.
They've damaged the loom a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, so got all that to deal with. But yeah, it's all good fun.
Bren, if you change the engine, are you changing the ECU as well?
I don't need to, but I am changing the ECU because I've got a mapped one. But so
And
I just
then
need to
how
get
does that
the
does that
immobiliser.
affect the key and the immobilizer
Yeah,
and stuff?
so I need to get the immobilizer removed from the ECU. Is the easiest way. Otherwise, you'd be
If you decided to keep the original ECU, you can swap the engines and you don't have to tell the ECU you have a different engine.
that's
now.
correct. Yeah, it's correct.
So it's only from the electronics
It's
side.
only it's only the clocks and the ECU that have got the immobilizer information.
The immobilizer is built into the ECU, but they're relayed to the clocks. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
And then obviously the key then relays it.
the key
relays it
through
to back to the ECU. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So it doesn't matter what engine's in there. That's fine.
Yeah.
The only thing on the DSG, you got to check the coding's correct on the DSG gearbox. So you just copy the coding over from. Yeah, that's easy enough.
I suppose once you have VACOM or something like that, you're pretty much easy to go. Like you just know what codes to type in.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Take a picture of the old one and then copy it over to the new one. Job done.
Yeah. I see that Wayne's asking, did you sort your alternator problem out, Bryn?
John, you sold me an alternator.
Yeah, give him a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All I
I
will
did.
say is the video, I was going to edit it tonight, but now I've jumped on with you guys. So it's probably not going to happen. All I would say is that the latest trip to the Elderbury car was a roller coaster. of yeah, yeah, it's going to be a wicked video if you can be bothered to stick it all the way through. That's all I'll say. I'll try to keep it short.
plenty going on with that car by the look of it at the moment.
Well, I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll leave it to watch on the video. If
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nicky's obviously been watching the same video I am, asking how your knees are. So
Freaking killing.
yeah,
Honestly, I went to the Isle of Man the next day. So like the flight was dead awkward, and then they were just bleeding for days still.
yeah.
Did anyone ask you what you did? What stories did you give them?
I can tell them the truth. No need to lie, is there? I'm an idiot, you know. It's just the way it is.
If you're in the Isle of Man, you should say, "Oh, I came off on the TT track, and it's scars from it still not healed."
That's it. That's it. Yeah, that'd be the injury that everyone wants to get when they come off, rather than what they actually get.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You've got away lightly there. So someone's asked about anyone know how to repair the spring-loaded pocket on the rear internal panel without taking it out? Are we talking about not the little flat down bit on the roadster? We're talking about, yeah.
I assume so. Or are they on about the rear side ones?
Yeah, the disc changer and the first aid kit pocket. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
Take
so
the spring out.
Those it actually just unclips, and I think I've got footage of it somewhere, but it's dead easy. Like it just comes apart. So and so there's someone selling replacement bits, isn't there, using a pen spring and some stick-on bits.
Oh, I don't know. I only found that that pocket by sheer accident the other week, and there's a first aid kit in it, so I was quite happy with that. So it's nice to still surprises in the TT all this time later, so it's always good.
I probably should have used the first aid kit in the Elderberry, shouldn't I? Now that I think about it.
Knee repairs.
I didn't check. But, I should have checked, shouldn't I?
Yeah, what we've got there. What we've got there. Yeah, that's the one. So I'm presuming that I'm not sure if Jan Bacardi's replied to the flap down the Roadster or if the pockets in the side, but I think the flap down bit that does tend to fail. The clip to hold it up seems to fail, I think, from what I've seen. But
it's you've got like if you think of it as this is on the flap and it clips into the female mating bit, and this bit breaks off. Yeah, so that's quite common.
So really, I guess it would be a replacement door, wouldn't it? Or if you can get one from a breaker, that's
yeah. I've got one for sale.
Oh, there you go.
Black. You know, just saying.
It's funny because there was some of the blue interior, roads with blue interior, and they got in touch with me and they said, "Oh, do you know anyone that's got?" Because that flap down door is obviously solid.
Yeah.
And they said, "Do you know if I can find one of these doors in blue?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. You know, it's if you can find a blue interior that's breaking one, maybe, but I imagine they're quite hard to get hold of." But in the end, the guy he covered it with vinyl, and he got a very, very close matching vinyl. So
nice.
I think it, you know, it's if you would rather have the color match to the the original part look, I guess that's one way of doing it. But so got around it. So Wayne's asking about DSG paddle springs not work. Not sure if he's replying to that previous question right there. Does the gravity down connect to a normal cat, or does it have to be a sports cat?
Yeah, well, if it's a 3-inch downpipe, it needs its own cat section because it's going from single to twin. So,
do they make their own? Do they make their own twin replacement? Stainless one?
Yeah, twin D cat. They make a twin.
No. They make the one like a stock replacement, but stainless.
Yeah. I've got one of those in the garage for sale as well.
I was trying to link you up. I know you had one.
yeah. But if it's a 3-inch downpipe, then it needs a. But if it's a normal OE replacement, then it will mate up. Supposedly,
I would imagine the interior bits must be quite, on the whole, must be easy to get hold of because the number of people that are, particularly rear seats, everyone strips the rear seat out, rear seat delete. But also, a lot of the interiors are getting stripped out for track cars because there's always quite a few. I've got an interior in my garage, or most of it, out of a track car that a friend of mine was taking apart. Although the headlining's since been sold, I think it really good.
I think it just depends on the person that's removing it, though, because if they're just stripping it out to make a track car, anytime I do that, I just destroy it. Because, like you say, they're so common. I just think, oh, that'd be sat on the shelf for years.
Yeah.
Like that.
Plus, it's the aggro of like full seats, full interior. You probably get 150, maybe 200 quid tops.
Yeah.
Unless it's special,
Mm.
it's not worth it.
Yeah, the reason I took it off his hands is because I thought if I've got a spare set of everything, if you've got like a knee pad that falls off and breaks, or the centre tunnel gets a big scratch down it, I've always got a spare set of bits to make it look as nice as it can. But because I imagine at some point those bits are going to become obsolete. You're not going to be able to get hold of them. I'm sure the breakers will always have them in some way, shape, or form. But even they're getting, I think, a bit more rare for good quality ones.
Yeah, trying to find unscratched panels. Yeah, I mean, quite a rare one is finding a TT flap in mint condition. Yeah, because they've often got
Scratch in the
marks and
metal.
scuffs. Yeah. So I've kept hold of a couple of those.
Yeah. What about seats and things like front seats? Are they quite easy to get hold of, or?
I say this front seats are probably the only thing that's valuable on the car, because they can be put into other cars where the rear seats and the door trims are pretty much worthless going to any other car.
Yeah.
Only the TT, and why you take them out of one TT and put them into your own TT? It's your car, not have it.
Yeah.
I think some door cards though I know you can change the colour of them, but there's quite a few door cards you see around that are in the baseball stitch colour. So they've got baseball stitch door cards, steering wheel. So they normally sell that as a set, wouldn't they? So if you've got a roadster that wants that full kit, it's unlikely you're going to buy just the seats out of that.
I know, but say if he does a grey interior or different colour,
you're never selling grey interior parts, or
that's
blue.
what I mean. That's why you said the front seats are probably the only thing that's really valuable to sell. If someone wants to put in a Mark II or Mark III Golf, or put them into an older car to make it
T4 is quite common.
Yeah, just have nicer seats. You're never going to sell the back seats. You're never going to sell anything else. It's only the two front seats, and that's it.
But it's your rear seats are never going to get worn out, are they? They're never going to be damaged. Well, they might be damaged on the back side seat.
Not an awful lot in a TT, I can tell you that.
I think I've only ever seen the backs of them get damaged if people loaded stuff in the boot. So I suppose this may be, I don't know. I can't see the comment section because I'm not set up.
I'm popping it up. So there is another one saying, how hard is it, if possible, to put a 1.8 turbo onto a 3.2? No one in the UK does the 3.2 turbo now. In my head, low power turbo would equal not too much change in the engine based on seeing the 610 brake horsepower TT. Well, I would imagine that when people do a turbo, they do big turbo, don't they? They don't stick the turbo.
Sorry, I've lost track of what the question actually was there.
He wants a turbo V6.
So you want to put a KO4 off a 180 onto I've got
onto a 3.2.
That would be the worst turbo choice ever, because it'd be it'd be out of
way
puff
too
in no
small.
time. Yeah, it'd just be
I think Jamie's answered it anyway. He said there's still loads of 3.2 turbo kits in the UK anyway, so he knows someone that breaks them quite often, mainly R32 Golfs or the turbo kits. So that's the thing. I think would I be right in saying that if people are going to turbo that lump, it tends to be in the R32? That seems to be the more common platform to do it on.
Yeah,
the Golfs.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly from what I've seen, because I'm on the 3.2 turbo and supercharged pages, and there's not many Mark 1 TTs that people are bothered charging. But then that said, there's 1,600 Mark 1 V6s to start off with. How many have been broken?
Quite a lot.
Track. Yeah, so let's say there's 1,200
Ask Jason
now. Yeah, just one a week. So I'm not saying the R30s are common by any stretch, but I think
their value is good. So I mean, if you were to turbo one, it's still a valuable car.
Yeah, let's see. You slap a turbo on a V6 Mark 1, it's still just a Mark 1 TT, isn't it? Yeah.
Sounds nice, eh?
But I'm still tempted to do it. I'm just saying. But just not on the Papaya because it's the wrong chassis. Need to do it on a coupe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can buy, if you know what you're doing, you can get the right bits. You just got to try and find a decent manifold turbo, and then obviously mock the rest up yourself.
I reckon $5,000 you can turbo one, and you could be running a bar. So you're running a bar plus atmospheric, so you're probably running close to 500 brake if tuned properly at just one bar.
Unopened engine,
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, maybe 450 without opening it up, and that's plenty.
Do you have to gap the piston rings and
you can get away
the
with low
crank
boost
and all that?
So if you're going to run low boost,
Does anyone actually run low boost though?
well, this is
When you're in that far, then you just we'll just turn up the boost a bit more power.
I mean, 450, you don't need to open the engine up. You can get away with just.
Or what's the maximum like the CV shafts can take, or what's the maximum like the clutch or the gearbox can take before you start blowing shit up? Like
I don't know. Some people are saying that the standard DSG boxes are fine. I don't know. It depends how you drive it, but I know certainly the main cap bolts become a weakness at like 500 plus. Don't quote me on these numbers, but yeah, once you go into that level, you want to just put low compression pistons in, AOP hardware throughout, send it. Actually, a really interesting combination is the 2.8 head and the 3.2 bottom end, and you make yourself an R30. So yeah, there's loads of boys over in America doing crazy stuff, but it all comes down to the management as well. So if you've got stock management, you got to be really careful. But if you've got Ignitron, which will run it, then you haven't, you can optimize the timing. And
can you get away with a stock ECU? I thought you had to go like totally custom, that because you're putting more air in, you're going to put more fuel in, and to accommodate for all of that, you're going to do different maps. So that
there's different ways that people hack it to work. Yeah, but yeah, the answer is a standalone ECU, the proper one.
Is that just for easiness because like you're fighting Volkswagens or Audi's ECU, or you just have a custom one? You can just tell it to do what you want it to do.
Exactly.
Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the amount of safety precautions that the aftermarket ones have got. They're just so much safer. Like Dom will tell you on his Ignitron,
what Ignitron?
The one that you just bought.
Oh yeah,
it's getting fitted to the Noggy. Are you not fitting that Ignitron to the Noggy?
Nice save. I like it.
Hang on, what day are we on today?
There you go. Bryn's dropped the first teaser for Wednesday.
It may or may not. Oh yeah.
The real question is, Andy, when are you going to start modifying your one?
Sometime in the future.
Do you want some wheel spacers?
From a date that's never coming. No, absolutely not. You know those cars. The only thing that's going to be modified is when they get either repainted with the same colour. That's about as modified as they're going to get. So have the dents knocked
out of genuine.
Have the dents knocked out of them.
Have you done any mods to your car? Like anything that said like this is not factory?
Right. So the only thing I was thinking about doing was what I don't like about the 3.2 is I don't drive it often enough. It will end up getting a flat battery. So then, of course, if you want to charge that battery up to get the boot open in the first place, you've got to take the bit off under the drinks holder, pull the little lever, pop the boot, take the bits out, get the charger on. So with obviously the 1.8, you can pop the bonnet and you can charge it from the front. So it's no hassle, but it's that hassle of taking that drinks holder on and off, taking my bottles of Moe out of my drinks holder. Bit of a pain. Wife spills the champagne everywhere, and then it's no. So it's because of that. I want to. Well, yeah, at the vineyard, Chris. Yeah. No, so I want to run cables somehow. I want to find a way because I know Chris and I have spoken about doing it. Run cables that I can charge it up. Now you mentioned about doing it off the alternator at the front, didn't you? At one point,
or Chris, starter, yeah.
And so I'm thinking it'd be good to have a couple of points at the front because obviously the battery tray is still there for the 3.2 at the front. The hole is still there. So it would make a good idea to maybe mount 2 charging points in there that at least starting points that you can clip onto and give it a quick top-down charger.
Yeah, because all you need is a one 1200 of light and use the rest of the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you garage the V6 all the time?
Not always. I
okay.
tend sometimes I do when I've got loads of old rubbish in the garage. I tend to end up with like just space for one car. So the roadster normally lives in there because I don't like the thought of it sitting out in the wet and water getting into the CCM and making that pack up. Which to touch wood it hasn't done. So that tends to live in the garage more than the V6. But
Right.
because I'm starting to get a bit of rust bubbling on the rear sit on the back of the sills, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should keep it in the garage out in the moisture, but they need doing now anyway, so probably a bit past caring. But which you can have a good look at on Saturday anyway, Brim, when you're when you're in attendance.
Oh, he's bailing.
So
Well, no,
all the shoot.
my issue is getting something MOT'd in time.
All right.
So, despite the fact that nothing has a working engine at the moment as well, I've got a few days to sort that, but it's then getting it for an MOT in time. So, I need to buy a car and a trailer. No, so it just depends if it's ready Thursday night and I can drop it off to the MOT station, post them the keys, get them to do it Friday. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Well, hopefully we see you Saturday morning at the Duke's Head Pub, 11 o'clock, RH10, 4HH.
It looks like it's going to be really good fun. So
Yeah.
I do want to be there.
We seem to be getting a lot of response in the chat and direct messages, and so I think it's going to be a good event. I think we had over 50 TTs last year, didn't we? Do the run down there. It was
Nice.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Packed the car park out, and yeah, it was a really good day. Despite the weather, wasn't particularly good last year either. So if we have a nice day, it'd be good. Yeah. So in the chat, be interested to know as my fellow panelists sort of prompting me to do things to the V6 or even the 1.8. What should I do as an OEM plus mod to the car?
Wheel spacers. Wheel spacers.
Wheel spacers.
Put yourself a blinket in the engine bay as a minimum.
Oh no, I can't do that.
Chrome everything.
Do you know the V6 has got non-OEM battery tray fixing, so it's
a modification.
I know. If Jeff sees it, he'll kick me out the group. But he actually gave me a set of bolts to replace them with. So thank you, Jeff, for doing that. So I've got some bits to go in there. Right. So Wayne's asked a question, Bryn, as well. Are silicon hoses actually worth it? Saw a video of blown silicon hose and OEM and OEM hoses better. What's your opinion?
I mean, OEM? Which hoses are we talking about?
Well, I'm presuming he's
coolant.
Because, for example, coolant, I wouldn't bother changing them. Like, just anything coolant related, just leave it with the OEM stuff. The problem you get is that
the other issue with.
Oh, go on, Dom.
The issue I've found with having silicon hosing is if you use Jubilee clips.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And you have to work your way around.
Exactly. Yeah. So Jubilee clips will leak. You over tighten them. You end up crushing the plastic. Yeah, the factory clips won't fit over the silicon. So,
all right,
yeah, that's just my opinion. And I don't think I've ever seen the coolant hoses themselves go. So, other than for looks, why would you change them?
Well, Wayne's answered what he wants done. He's talking cooling anyway. So there you go. It's the cooling hoses he's talking about doing. So I guess it must be for looks.
Yeah,
it's
for looks, you'll just cause yourselves headaches. Like Dom says, you just end up.
If they fail, replace them. There's some you can't buy anymore. The two that go from the oil cooler to the block.
Yeah, but why? So okay, I've never seen them fail. The only time they fail is when you're trying to take them off.
Went.
Did it?
One of mine went, but because I think where the oil leaks from the VVT, if it's leaking, or the rocker gasket, it goes onto the rubber and then perishes over time. You'd be unlucky, but
yeah. So it's not something that I've seen. That's just my opinion on it for what it's worth.
Right. So the three options I've had for my non-OEM parts are spacers many times. So thanks, Carl, for that. a K&N panel filter and a Votex kit. So there you go. I suppose it is OEM if you want to. I suppose it's from the factory OEM if you've had it from there.
I tell you what you should do for your V6. David Clark's selling them at the minute. He's doing a kit for the auto dimming rear view mirror.
I see that actually. Yeah.
And that looks really nice. It looks like a really nice bit of kit. That. Just
I assume it's
modernised
easy enough
slightly.
to wire up. It's just a positive and negative, and then
Yeah.
you're using a light sensor, and that's how it. The same one
Yeah.
that's like on a Bora, is it?
It's an OEM mirror off something, so it's
Yeah.
already it's got the sensor and everything.
Yeah.
built in. I
It
don't
says
know
it's the
what-
same size oval mirror as the TT,
Yeah.
but it has to be the right distance down. So the mount has to be for the early TTs.
Oh, right.
I think it said on the
Yes.
advert. I just see it pop up actually, and I thought that was
Mm.
nice little feature. Because there are a lot
There
of
you go.
people that tend to do the OEM plus parts, which I think modernise the car an awful lot, and it is quite nice. So I suppose my nearest upgrade has been my USB plug-in FM unit for attaching my phone to the car. That's about as modified as I've gone. But
Hey, it counts. It counts. It's a modification.
yeah, don't tell Jeff though. Don't tell Jeff.
And you put stickers on your car, so like
No. Oh, I'm talking of stickers on
Oh,
the
here we
car.
go.
Stickers on the car, Chris. What do we know? What's on my V6? My daughter was horrified by that. She says, "Why is there a car Chris sticker on your car?" And I said, "Well, I think
He's
Chris stuck it on."
representing, that's why.
It's
So
still on there now.
Craig.
It's
So
still
was
on
Sean,
there.
weren't he?
It's still on there. Yeah, I see you got stickered. So, yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what's funny? The first time I got my picture back from the first Nürburgring picture I got sent back. Yeah, the first one going around the carousel. I put your guys' stickers on the back window, and I can see them.
Oh,
This
man.
is like-
Excellent.
None of my own stickers visible. Yeah, because you slapped them on at that.
I can buy it.
Oh, I
isn't
don't
it?
know.
Yeah,
Slapped
combined.
is a bit of a strong word, but yeah, we did carefully position them for the carousel. They
Yeah.
are
Yes.
carousel perfect.
They are. They are.
Mine
Zoom
fit lovely on the fuel caps. They're just
Yeah,
the
Sean
right
found that out,
size.
didn't he?
Yeah, Sean did.
He did,
Yeah.
yeah.
You slapped one on mine as well.
Yeah.
Are we doing Nürburgring next year, boys?
I would
Would
be
be good.
interested in that. Yeah, absolutely.
Might
Definitely
try
go
it,
back.
actually.
Yeah. Might come around and go around in other people's cars again.
I'll bring a trailer.
Might have a new car by then. Stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens.
You won't have a new one.
I
he's
might
getting
have
a red TT.
I'm not getting
a
a
red
red
one.
TT.
It's taking too long to unmodify it.
Well, the thing is, if I'm going to have a third one, if I did have a third one, I'd have to have one that I can modify now, wouldn't I? Because I've got a soft top, a hard top, V6, 1.8. So really,
You need to go something really stock then. So it's ready for you to
no, I
start.
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't
No,
do
if you're going
that.
to
No.
modify it, you've got to do your mods on, haven't you?
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I
What
would
you-
I'd take a modified car, put it back to factory, and then
Oh, you can
modify it.
unmodify a car.
Yeah, so I'm taking
right,
someone
okay.
else's mods off and say, right, here we go. So this is I'm going to modify this car. Oh look, these bits all fit perfectly. It's like they've been done before. But yeah, no.
Chris, I
I think-
assume you kept all the original parts. Andy, when he buys a car, he wants all the
I
original
have
parts
actually got
back.
quite a lot of original parts, actually. I do have a lot of original parts that I don't need.
yeah, that V6 bumper's going to need a bit of plastic weld on it, though, isn't it? If I can have that done.
Don't worry about that.
But yeah, that's
No, it's all-
definitely. So that's one of the neatest jobs I've seen though. On the V6 bumper, I think that your modification to get that front mount intercooler is one of the neatest jobs I've seen. So hats off to you for doing that, mate. Because you
Thank you,
can't
mate.
see anything. Like
It
that.
was scary doing it because once I
Yeah.
started cutting, I was thinking, "Oh fuck, how am I going to sort this out?"
Lot
and I
of
just-
potty
I
mouth
literally-
swearing come for you, Chris, tonight.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll have to beat you
It's
out.
one of those things. I said to Sarah Jane, I was like, "I've got the bumper to fit now," and what I had the vision in my head of doing those grills wasn't working how I originally planned to. So I basically had to wing it in the end. And
You did a good job,
it
though.
came out right. Yeah, it did come
Yeah.
out right in the end.
Good work. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you did a great job of that. So other than so if for next year, then if we're talking about things we've got going on next year, I guess Vorsprung's not happening now, is it? After your interview, Dom, that's not
No.
coming. That's not coming
No,
back
that is
again.
What do you
canned.
mean Audi's in the Park isn't continuing?
No.
Nope.
Have you not seen the video,
You can
Bree?
watch the video now.
No, I have seen the video. Tongue in cheek. Because let's face it, it was just Audi's in the Park.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss Audi's in the Park. I'm not going to miss Vorsprung because it only happened once and wasn't any different to Audi's in the Park. I'm going to miss Audi's in the Park. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a staple of the calendar.
When was the last hours of the park? Was it 19 or 20?
It was 2 years ago. 3 years ago.
Oh,
2
okay,
years
sorry.
ago.
Yeah.
So I went to that.
They've had 1 year
I thought
off,
that was
haven't they?
massive compared to the Volkswagen.
Yeah,
It was laid out differently.
Well, my papaya was at
yours is,
the last Elders in the Park. My
Yeah, 'cause
papaya
I
made the
went
out into
there.
that.
I think I've done like a 40-minute video on it. There's so much going on. And
I think
didn't
that's
even
where I
bother
met
doing a
you,
video
Chris,
anymore.
for the first time.
It might have been actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
it
met
was.
you and Dom then, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah. We were like, who's this gobby lad?
Yeah, that's it.
So the shows I've been to so far, I think my favourite has been Simply Audi down at Bewley. I think that's a really nice show. You've got a really good group of people there. It's condensed down enough so you can get around everything. I thought that was one of the things. I know that Calvin mentioned about the Vosprung show, about why there was so much space. There was an awful lot of walking through ground that was quite hard going, whereas the one that's Simply, it's obviously all prepared for that. And I think although it can get quite boggy in April, but it's quite a nice show. Not quite as nice as maybe Quattrophenia or Ockham Bites or all those ones. I think we'll have to try and bring Ockham Bites back and just take a chance with it. I feel that there's so many events on this year. I don't know if you guys have felt the same, but it seems to be everyone's putting an event on, and it seems to have thinned the numbers down. But it's put people around the country in different areas, so it's been quite good. But you don't seem to have that.
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
sort of good and bad, isn't it?
Yeah, but
there was loads up at the motorist for Jules meet, wasn't there?
That had been advertised for about 2 years prior, though, wasn't it?
I know, yeah, it's already until next year, isn't it? So that's the way you get the numbers, though, isn't it?
Yeah, badgering people,
daily updates.
Yeah,
begging people to go.
Yeah.
Why are you being so harsh? Come on.
This is your 9-month warning for the motorist.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think it'd be interesting.
Post of the day.
I think it'd be interesting to do an Ockham Bites with like 2 weeks' notice. Do you know what I mean? Just don't announce it, and then because that way you are less likely to pop-up show. That way you're much less likely to get the issues that we had last time with far too many people there.
Yeah.
See, you say that, and then it'll happen again, and it'll be like, oh.
Yeah. I think
we
that'd
were
be funny.
expecting about 60, weren't we?
I think 60 the first time, didn't we? Or 80 we might have had the first time. Did we have 80 maybe?
But how many were at the last one?
Over 150,
something, yeah.
There was
ridiculous numbers.
Yeah. I think we counted 135 that had parked, but then there was loads that would literally turned up, spun around and left.
Yeah, and then there was the other car park as well.
Yeah. And we had reduced parking due to the diggers that were in the car park as well. There was a lot of diggers on the car park, remember rightly too, which was taking up valuable parking. And locals, which were taking up valuable parking as well. So
the only problem with Ockham is the massive potholes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they sorted it now. Chris, can you swing past it? Are you local?
I'm probably about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Next time you're nearby.
I'm going down the A3 tomorrow actually, so I'm going to London, so I can probably swing by.
Yeah, go and have a look at the state of it. So it's if we could do it, because I think it'd be good to.
I think they finished.
Yeah, they're doing that new junction thing. They're doing something around that junction at the moment. It's an absolute nightmare. It's all 50 mile an hour around there. They got all the speed cameras up and stuff. All the average speeds is a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, I've noticed people are asking about getting one in North London. So I guess and Wayne's
Hempstead,
yeah. So that's your.
Come on, Don, pull your finger out.
Anywhere we can find.
I'm trying to find a venue that will take the numbers without aggro.
Yeah.
As I was driving, we could do an Isle of Man one, because when I was driving through there this week, there was a sign, field for rent. It was like £10 an hour. So that's bargain.
Oh, amazing.
50 quid, rent the field out, pay entrance fee to cover it and whatever.
Yeah, I mean that venue we had at the Stag was quite good, wasn't it? But it's a long way down for people. It's very southeasterly. But it was a nice venue, and we had 60 TTs or whatever in the car park, or get up to 60 TTs. Good bit of food as well, but it is a long way, and it's a Sunday morning, and I'm not sure.
The weather didn't help, did it?
No, the weather didn't help, and I think they do get quite a bit of bad press. I think local press, because they get idiots that are burning away from the pub and upsetting the locals. And I think there's a lot of bad press that people are saying that it might close down. Hopefully it doesn't, because it is a great venue. It's always packed out all week long, all weekends, different marks of cars. Great. And obviously I went to that one last weekend at in Chelmsford. That was really, really nice to see, that JD Classics restoration facility. So they've got everything there. If you had any classic, you need to have things built, tooled, machined, whatever. They do everything. Really good to see. So I'd recommend if you get a chance to go along to one of their open days to go and have a look at that. It's quite interesting.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but so I think Quattrofenia for us, and then next year we're looking at sorting some dates out. Are we to go to the Nürburgring? Or we're just going to tell people where we're going to be and see you there?
Yeah, we
like this
did
year?
the same. Yeah, did the same as this year.
Yeah.
I've definitely got to go back. I've got unfinished business.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I want to get a
some laps
steak.
left on my card, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going for a steak on my own.
Yeah, I never got to have a steak, you see, so I need to go back and sort that out. I had to have one of those dodgy kebabs.
That was banging though. The one that we went to, you went to the wrong place. Yeah, you went the wrong place.
Wow.
What's the name of the one we go to, Dom?
Alibaba.
Oh, amazing. Then we went back. I went back this time as well when I went. Yeah, that's going to be my regular now. Amazing.
Pinocchio's as well.
Darren sent me a picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pinocchio's was good, but apparently the pizza at Alibaba's is also better, just not as big. Because I think
That's interesting. I've never had a pizza or kebab shop.
The pizzas at Pinocchio's were like this big, weren't they? They were like 50 inches.
Yeah.
Didn't Tell take a pizza back for his missus or something?
He did, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Darren said it didn't make all the way home. He must have had a couple of.
No, he did. No.
Did
He took it home as is, and then heated it up when he got back.
Okay. There's a question there about DMF rattle on the 3.2 with DSG box. Mine's done it for 3 years, and it's quiet when the engine is warm. Well, I would say if it's been doing it for 3 years, it's not a catastrophe for the car because it's still doing it.
It's definitely DMF rattle if it's going when it's warm.
I think he's suggesting it does it when it's cold and it's quiet when the engine is warm. So it obviously goes away once it's warmed up.
More when it's warm than cold.
I mean, how do we know it's definitely the DMF?
Unless it says it's quite loud, and he's missed the word loud when the engine is warm. It might be that way around. I don't know. It just says it's quiet. So I might have reread the quiet. Quiet.
Just
so it could be either way.
Yeah, if it is genuinely DMF, get it changed if you can find one. They're not easy to get hold of now. You can buy. You can't buy it from LUK. You have to buy it from Sash, but it is an LUK one rebranded Sash. You can't buy it direct from LUK. You have to buy it from Sash. So you can still get them. But if you're doing that, you might as well get the chains checked as well. Because the thing is, the chains wise, it's not always the chains. It can be the guides as well, and they can be noisy. And you can still be within tolerance on your readings, but your guides could be, on the way. So, yeah, worth just getting it all done in one hit because the box has got to come off to do the chains anyway.
So Wayne's asking if Stephen can get a discount from Stenner for the ferry to Ireland. So Stephen, you can take that one away.
Oh yeah.
And Alex is asking, following Chris's video about rear trailing arm bushes, it's got him wondering whether brackets were the same as other VAG group cars and found out they were the same as Golf Mark 4, Audi A3 and Skoda. Are they the same brackets?
Probably the same platform, aren't they?
Well, yeah. There's actually if you get the Octi 4-wheel drive. They're rare though, those Quattro Octis. Rare as hen's teeth.
Okay, so Phil with the DMF question, he said it shuts up when you put it in drive or reverse.
Okay, cool. Yeah, DMF then, cool.
Okay. And Jamie was saying he had 50 for caffeine in the machine. No, I've not been to caffeine in the machine.
No, I've never been either.
So I think that must have to be one of the tops of the tick.
Aren't they opening a new venue as well?
I think they are.
In Bedford, yeah. So that's a bit more middle country for us.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to look at that.
I mean, I'd just like to have a car that works so that I can take it to shows. That's my goal.
Overrated.
That's my goal. Is just
I have one that you don't fiddle with.
Yeah.
So Chris, if you're,
I was going to say, can I do a straw poll to see if people's comments? Do I keep the Papaya V6 Roadster or the coupe, low mileage, black 225. Which one do I keep? I've got to sell one.
Answers in the comments, guys. Be interesting to see what people put at that. I noticed when I've been to see Jason Case a few times, and I've noticed he's got 2 papayas.
Oh, nice.
Not just one, but he's got 2 in his workshop. So yeah, I don't know if he's keeping both, but I see a papaya today. I'm sure it was a V6. Sure, it was a V6. Down in Sussex.
I saw a papaya on the Isle of Man. I drove past. I was doing a circuit of the TT route because it was the Manx Grand Prix that week. So I went out because it was all set up, all the viewing platforms, everything like that was out. And I drove past and there's this viewing platform in someone's garden, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then because I was looking at that, I happened to catch at the corner of my eye, papaya coupe. Oh, yeah. I should have just knocked on another chat with the owner, really, shouldn't I?
Give him an Andycharger card. That's
Andy
what I
would
tend to do. Under the windscreen.
Chasing down the road, mate.
I nearly went after that papaya today, but I was in a rush, so I couldn't. But yeah, so we had 5 votes on your straw poll, Bryn, and so far it's 5-0 to the papaya.
What, keep the papaya?
Yeah.
No, I think people are trying to say sell it cheap, because they all want it.
Okay, so next question: who wants to buy a low mileage coupe?
Has anyone else in this chat not got a 225 for sale right now? Everyone seems to be selling a 225 in this chat.
Dom's not got a 225 for sale, have you?
He's all
No.
for the right price.
No, just a bit.
No, he's never getting rid of Noggy.
No.
Noggy is staying forever.
Yeah, I think that was quite a relief for people to see when you did that video that it was being put away for now. It's not going to be going anywhere.
Yep.
So that would be
dashed in a barn to be found in 40 years' time.
Yeah, channel icon.
No, but that 150 Roadster, mate, that's all you need. That is all you need.
That's it. It's more than enough for me.
It's like you said, you can lose your license in it.
More than enough.
So,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I do rate them, to be fair.
It gets you into an Audi for pennies compared to some of the things that are for sale now.
How much did you pay for it, Dom? Or are you not allowed to say?
We agreed I wouldn't say it, but it was
okay.
It weren't a bad price.
No,
I mean, the cheapest one I think is 1,200 quid, so it weren't
bargain.
That was 150 horsepower, right? Is that right?
Yes, yeah. Front wheel drive, same as a Golf, basically.
150 rampant power.
I'm not sure whether you've done a video on it, but is there much of a difference between 150 to 180 horsepower?
Depending on the turbo, I think you can actually have it modified, or you can have it chipped, can't you? Or
no, but if you had a totally standard, both of them, you've driven nearly all of them, so is there a huge difference not having quattro?
It lifts up a little bit more on the front. It's a different drive for sure. You've driven Mark IV Golfs, I'm guessing.
No.
He's got that sort of lifts at the front thing. No?
Yeah, it's if you had a 150 Roadster. Well, 150. Well, it is a Roadster. The only version of the 150 is a Roadster front wheel drive. You pit that against a 180 Quattro, they'll be the same as each other speed wise. Because you do get quite a bit of power zap through the drive chain, and obviously they're heavier. So that's the refreshing thing about the front wheel drive variants is you don't get that power loss. And the hardware on the 150 is the same as the hardware on the 180, so you can map them to the same. You can get them to 210, 215.
I suppose the only difference is then going to tight bends and stuff like that, you don't feel quattro kicking in. Am I right?
Do you currently feel quattro kicking in, Stephen?
The only time I really felt it is on a roundabout, and it was greasy, and you could hear and feel the quattro kicking in.
Yes.
But the majority of the time, I don't know whether it actually works or not.
So this is the interesting point. The Quattro chassis is better than front-wheel drive chassis because you've got the independent rear suspension. But majority of people, the majority of the time, are not kicking the Quattro in because it takes front-wheel slip to really get the back end to fully engage. So most people don't ever actually use the Quattro.
I suppose like if you're just driving it easy and you're just driving it handy, you're not going to. It's not going to be kicking you in. Like
Even
when Quattro kicks in, is that the orange little light on the dash, or is that
Well, no,
maxed?
'cause
Is
if
that
you've
warning
got-
you saying maxed out?
if you've got well, if the light's coming on the dash, it's because you've got slip, and it's because the ESP is then doing its thing. The traction control is then working. So yes, at that point the Quattro will be kicking in. But if you've turned the traction control off, you won't get that light to know if it's coming in. But you've got to be really going for it to get the Quattro to actually be doing anything useful or be in the rain, you know.
Actually, only today I was watching a video. There was a guy with a Mark II Jetta, I think it was, and no, I don't think it was Haldex Quattro, but I think it was just ordinary Quattro. I was just watching the video, going, "It's an awful lot of work." Well, does it actually like, unless you're a race car or like driving it hard around the Nürburgring or something, you're probably not actually going to get any benefit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much power you're putting through the system, doesn't it? Whether it's because on a light car like that, I don't know, old light car.
I mean, my Mark II's front wheel drive. My Mark 1's obviously Quattro. Quattro I find obviously gets off the line better. Obviously, it would, but once it's going, Mark II's feels lighter, more flickable, and probably handles better.
The Mark II chassis is a better
better.
chassis. It is a better chassis. Yeah, I can't deny that.
But yeah, off the line, the Quattro's in. I think once you're off the line, does it really matter?
Yeah, yeah. How quick was your lap in your Mark II?
Don't know, not that quick, probably.
I don't know. I thought it looked quick. I was at the side and I was watching all those laps going on, and I thought yours looked pretty.
You seem to have good acceleration on the straights, like, and once you were comfortable, you know,
it's well torquey. It's 320 something pound of torque, and that's just running a little KO3 turbo.
Yeah,
so it's like proper like punchy, isn't they?
Well, on the way down, when we were having a bit of mess about on the motorway, when you came past, I was like, yes, that's pretty quick.
It goes all right. It goes all right.
And they say the better weight distribution on those as well, because you've got the aluminium front end, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're aluminium at the
quite
front
a lot
and
of
then
them,
move to steel. Yeah.
They don't really rust.
So, guys, there's a question in the chat.
Isn't it?
There's a question in the chat, guys, about what's your best mod and what was the most expensive that you wouldn't do again. There you go. 2 questions in one. What's your best mod?
I want Don to answer this. Because I've got a feeling that I know what the answer is going to be.
Let's go.
Yeah, I regret the full cage.
There you
Definitely
go.
regret the full cage. But what I do like most, and I didn't think I would, was the shift tower, because that thing's wicked. I love that.
Chris?
That's my 2.
I don't know, really. I don't know.
You must have one. What was your favourite mod on the Mark 1 that you did?
Well, to be fair, it already came with the full Miltech turbo back exhaust system, so that was quite a result.
But what would you not do again? What was a waste of money?
Nothing really, because I researched pretty much everything I wanted to do first, so I wouldn't waste money.
Good shout.
I think the intercooler was probably. I think intercooler is a really weird one. It's almost like the power felt stronger. I don't know, more consistent with putting the bigger intercooler on.
Yeah,
but it just felt better. It's just hard to explain.
Yeah,
it felt better.
Yeah, it makes sense because obviously
I think you're going to have to keep talking. So to
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
What's Andy done?
Well, I'm back now. I had a minor technical hitch. I'd unplugged my headphones, but unfortunately, I'm not posh enough to have wireless ones. But yeah. So, Stephen, what about you? You like to have a fiddle?
Still me on the screen.
Yeah, we just see Chris now.
Okay. I'll put the right camera over. There you go. Sorry, guys.
Probably one of my most favorite mods, and I think only I see it. I'm the only one that actually likes it. Puddle lights. So when you open the doors, there's 2 puddle lights that shine down, and they have the gecko, and I think it says Audi, like the 4 circles. So every time I open the door, it just points straight down. So that's pretty cool. I did put in a USB into, so I had the phone system originally in the car.
Yeah. On the tunnel, wasn't it? You've done it
in the tunnel, yeah. And I put the USB in there, and it's hidden away. And probably could have just put it somewhere else and just had less hassle putting it there. I use it all the time, so I can just plug in my phone. Like, it's great.
Okay. Bryn?
Oh, my favourite mod was the brakes on my track car. Then Brembo calipers, RPX pads. Oh, it was savage. It was just savage. And so predictable, consistent, just like it made the car so much more fun to drive. Like, it didn't have loads of power, but it just meant that I wasn't scared of using however much power I wanted, knowing that I could just slam the anchors on. But I had so much control over the braking as well. That was amazing. But really expensive, don't get me wrong, but worth every penny.
You still got them, or did you sell them?
I sold them.
Oh, you sold them.
Yeah, I had to give myself a clean break with that car. Like, I was like, if I'm getting rid, which was always the plan, but I was like, I just need to get rid of everything off it because I don't plan on building another fast Mark 1 anytime soon.
So what would you take to the Nürburgring next year then if you stripped it?
Well, yeah, it's obviously, I mean, that one's gone. So there's no chance of that ever coming back. But I'd like to take the Papaya, if I'm honest with you. You know, I think just slap some decent pads in, some half decent suspension. I've still got the wheels with decent tyres. So just get those put onto a nice set of wheels for the V6 and that'd be it, really. Or there is something else brewing in the background, which, we'll see. Depends when the trip is. We'll see if my other idea comes to fruition. But safe to say, the next fast car that I have, I don't want it to be a Mark 1 TT. I do want to have something else.
Okay.
Yeah. But the mod that I wouldn't bother with again, just like putting it out there, is completely stripping out a car, ripping everything out, ripping out all the aircon.
I agree.
Ripping out the carpets, ripping out all the interior, ripping out all the sound deadening, and then putting really harsh poly bushes or solid bushes in. Like that, yeah, okay. On the track made sense, but that was the only place it made sense. The journey there and back, I was miserable. Absolutely miserable. You know, even with the defenders on and whatever else. It's like, I'd never do that to a car again. Ever. Not unless it was a Trader Queen and just trailer it to the track, use it, and then it just destroyed the usability of it.
Yeah, I think you suffered the consequences of that journey down there, didn't you? That it was a rather harsh ride, let's say.
But then I still chose to do it again, like a month later.
Just to make sure it was terrible.
Yeah. No, but like I did kind of think, well, because I changed the padding setup in the seats and everything like that. And I thought, if this time I can get there and not have a completely numb ass, then I'll keep it. But even with softening the suspension, as soft as it would go, having all the pillows off the other seat on my seat, it was just no. It's not good.
Stephen Harper in the chat has asked, Andy,
that's brilliant.
What's your favourite mod? I don't know this thing. My favourite mod is I hoovered the car once. That was a pretty nice mod. It kept it very OEM, cut the dirt out of it. And the mod I wouldn't do again is I wouldn't pay someone else to wash my car. There's the two mods I wouldn't do. So there you go. There seems to be a lot of chat in the chat about that video where they're pitting all the Audi TTs against each other. And I think there's obviously a lot of 3.2 owners in there that felt they weren't fairly represented in that.
Absolutely, yeah. There was something not quite right with that one. Yeah, I'd be interesting to know whose it was.
Yeah.
I
would say, as stock, as both of mine are obviously stock, that they are like night and day to drive. The Roadster's great fun in the summer with the roof down. I get that, but off the mark, and the V6 is an animal. It just wants to go the whole time. So I don't see how in that video they're saying, oh yeah, a 225 would be this, and the V6 lagging. I know it's heavier, but even still, not to that point. It's definitely a bad driver. So I think we'll all come to that.
Car might have had issues as well.
Yeah. Might have been to my garage for service. But other garages in Kent are available.
See, the thing that I find with the V6 DSG is you can just push on and not feel guilty. You just put your foot to the floor, see where you get to. Whereas when you got the manual V6, you feel guilty for revving it high. I don't know if that's just me. Like it feels like subconsciously I'm feeling like I should be changing up at 5, not at 7 or whatever. You know what I mean? 6.5. Whereas obviously when it's in sport, it just does it itself and you don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
And you just look down and you're like, oh, I'm going that quick. You know, whoops.
Yeah. That car in sport mode is like something else. I've had sport mode in other cars. Granted, they're normally Mondeos, but they are sport mode. But that car sport mode is just like something else. It's amazing to drive, and it just the way it high revs and everything feels so tight. It's amazing. It's a great car to drive. If anyone hasn't had a V6, I'd highly recommend them because they are so choice, as Ferris Bueller would say. What else have we got going on in the chat?
Boys, I'm going to have to drop off because I've just remembered that I left all my tools and stuff out still. I'd only popped in to have dinner and then saw you on the chat.
It's all right. They're not there anymore.
Yeah. I just thought I need to go sort that out. But pleasure seeing all you guys.
Thanks, Ben. Great to see you. Take care.
Soon.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
And then there were 4. So one of those questions in there is saying, what's the best offset for an 18-inch wheel? Previous owner had JR3's 18-inch ET 9.5, and he had put 235 stretch tires on to make the car handle poor and making my car handle poorly. Do I need to change my rims or get away with them? So what's the best offset to put
9.5s is wide. If you put square tires on them, they would rub 100%.
What about triangles?
Oh, mate.
Kyle will talk about his triangle tyres.
We were talking about his triangles earlier when I was round there.
Was he?
Yeah, he loves his triangles.
You weren't a fan of those.
They'll never wear out.
No, they're plastic, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
They won't give you any grip, that's for sure. But,
good times.
I saw his...
Yeah, I mean, your 8s, 8.5s. 8.5s run 235 square. That's what I got on the Noggy. Add on the Noggy. Yeah, it's around ET 20, 25, 30 if they're 8.5. If there's 8s, you can get away with anything from 20 to 30.
Yeah, it's I think there's a lot of. So if I'm running 9.5s, I guess those tyres are so super stretched that they're just struggling to sit on the rim. Would they be? Would that's badly stretched or?
Yeah, I'll have a look. On a 9.5, you're supposed to run 255 or 265.
Wow.
Minimum is 245.
So if he's running 235s on it, then that might be half the problem.
Too much.
Yeah. Okay.
It could pop off.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely don't want that. Anything else? Right. So Pete starts in night bedtime. Right. Yeah. See you, Jeff. Hopefully, see you Saturday for Quattrophenia. Yeah, that guy's just come back. Beamstar saying that you're looking into it because it handles way too poorly. Previous owner destroyed the car, so yeah, we've got that. So while we're talking about this Saturday, then guys, if you're looking to come along and you're not in our WhatsApp group and you want to keep posted where we are, please do send your details through to any of us if you've got our details. But if you want to send me an email directly, my email address is andy_charger@hotmail.com. You can find my details on the channel anyway to send it through. Yeah, I think I haven't really got too much more to add tonight, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are. If you've got any more subject matter you want to chuck into the chat before we sign off for the night.
I'm happy to wrap up if you are.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're all talked out. Hopefully, everyone that's watching has not fallen asleep, or maybe we have taken you to sleep, so you've got to be well rested for work tomorrow. Victor's just asked. Hi, Victor, you're on there. So asking about our next trip to Germany. We will keep you posted on that. We are going to come back next year.
Yes,
probably about the same sort of time, but we'll definitely keep you posted and make sure we can meet up with you at the ring again because it's great to see you and your great red roadster. But yeah, I think really all it leaves for me to say is just ask you guys any final thoughts, Stephen.
Just get out there and drive the damn cars.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Yes, mate.
Chris,
Yes.
what are you eating? You having dinner?
He's eating sellotape.
What are you eating? Sellotape.
No.
So-
No, I was just sorting out something from eBay, and I was eating a sweet.
All right. Can't take him anywhere, can you? Dom, anything to add?
Nah, mate. Nah, just
people
yeah,
Saturday,
hope to see
innit?
everyone on Saturday.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Yes, just for me, I just want to thank everyone else that's been tuned in tonight and joined us for this chat. It's been good fun. I think there's been some good things spoken about, and we've not done one for about 6 months. So I think it's great to get you guys all back together. And I think we will try and hold one a bit more frequently than we have been. Obviously, life gets away from people and everyone's busy, but we'll try and keep people up to date. Obviously, keep your eyes on everyone's channels to see what's going on. There's always lots of things going on. Maybe not on Chris's channel at the moment, but there will be things coming, I'm sure.
I might do a video on selling the Mark 1.
Yes, definitely do that, Chris.
I'll
Share
do
your
that.
experience with people, because there's a lot of
Also,
people
if
that
someone
are
wants the Mark 1, message me, and obviously we'll sort a deal out.
absolutely right. So if you know anyone that
Yeah.
is looking for a nice Mark 1 right now in red, Chris's car's a great example, so it's definitely one to check out.
Yeah.
Or if you know
So-
any scammers, just send them all to Chris.
Yeah, send
Yeah.
it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
I'm
you
not
really
selling my
like,
car, someone else will be selling it.
Yeah. And if you really like this chat tonight, don't forget to press the old super thanks button for everybody, so we can all share a cup of coffee together, and I'll split the winnings with my fellow broadcasters. But but I think we will. For those of you that are coming along Saturday, we look forward to seeing you Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Duke's Head, and obviously catching up over some food and lunch in Brighton, which will be great fun. And thanks all for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.
See you later.
Thank you.